Alright guys, we gotta talk about the Young Thug situation. Cause it's pretty crazy, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, look at this.
What was happening on that album?
Hey, Thug, that boy Stretcher said he ready for round two.
He's talking about round two. He need a straight comedian, man.
Not playing.
But now, let me go ahead and get up all this phone, though, man.
What the fuck was that?
Abandoned house with a tape at. Pool stick all in his ass. Tell him take that.
I'm praying that's not real. But if that's real, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's kind of crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. That's kind of crazy. And also, this nigga just dissing everybody. Like, goddamn, Young Thug. Why are you dissing? I heard he even dissed me.
Lil Uzi B be making all those YouTube videos. Why he ain't make a video on me? I'm the biggest. I'm the biggest. I put Atlanta on. I put the world on. Well, Jesus put the world on. But I helped.
What the fuck did I do to you, Young Thug? I don't even know you. Alright, nah. Let me quit playing. That was AI. But alright, the first one was not AI though. I don't know what that was. I saw that on TikTok. That might be real. I ain't gonna cap. But let's get straight into the video. Today we're gonna be reacting to the Young Thug situation explained by XZV. So let's get straight into it. Let's see what the situation is. You feel me?
So Young Thug had a problem. While he was in jail awaiting his RICO charge, he made a couple phone calls. Now these phone calls have been leaked. That's his problem. Because in these phone calls, he's talking to a lot of people about a lot of things. And he believes that they're private phone calls, so he's sharing his...
Dumb shits is not private, bruh. There are way too many leaks, bro. Every single one got leaked. They dropping them like new songs, bro. God damn.
Private conversations. And think about yourself. Think about...
who is even dropping these? Is the police department themselves dropping them? Cause that's fucked up. I ain't gonna cap. They didn't even have to do that. That's just fucked up. I feel like they just mad he's free, bruh. They wanted to lock that man up. They just mad he's free. There ain't nothing he can really do about it. So I don't know.
Conversations you've had in the past when you're talking to somebody really, really close to you. Some of that audio you don't want leaked out. Well, in Young Thug's case, he's talking about some very sensitive information, like he got no care in the world. Now, to go a little deeper, there's actually two aspects to Young Thug's problem. Listen to this next part closely. There are the jail leaks that we just talked about, and there's another leak. Now, why I call this two separate incidents is because they happen at separate times, okay?
Okay.
All the jail calls that were leaked happened when he was facing his RICO charge, okay?
Right.
The other leak where he's talking to police happened way before he was arrested for a RICO charge. That's important. Now, during the jail calls, he's just a little gossipy. Remember, he talking to his friends, his homies. He really think, hey, this ain't gonna get out. So he basically...
Dumbest shit ever, I'm not gonna lie. Because why would you think that's not gonna get out? Is this nigga dumb? Like, what did you expect, my nigga?
Stuff like Gucci Mane, maybe he's soft. He's saying... Now, keep in mind, a lot of this stuff is clipped. And why I say that is because specifically for the Gucci Mane example, I'm telling you, the clip going around is Young Thug calls Gucci Mane soft. But honestly, there's a little more to it than that. Young Thug is more or less saying, Gucci Mane was mad at somebody. Gucci Mane went to jail. Gucci Mane got out of jail and he stopped being mad at that person. Gucci Mane is soft for not being mad at that person anymore. Maybe he went...
Okay, that's stupid. Nigga, that's called maturity. Nigga, that's called moving on. It's called being a grown-ass man and moving on with your goddamn life. Nah, low-key, I don't care if that was clipped out of context. It's still some bullshit. I ain't gonna cap.
And turn soft. Now, I bring that up not to defend Young Thug because he called him soft still, but I want you to understand that there's still more context to this stuff. It's not, he's just not straight up just coming out talking smack about people. You know what I'm saying? All that to say, most of Young Thug's jail calls are surrounding that. It's just, he's been a little messy, nothing too crazy. Now, there's one call in particular that gives a little insight into Atlanta as a whole. Young Thug is speaking to his close friend 21 Savage. Young Thug is speaking about what Gunna did during the RICO trial. If you don't know what a RICO trial is, it's basically they gather up members of a group and they categorize the whole group as a criminal organization. Okay, so they pull in Gunna, they pull in Young Thug, they pull in a bunch of people. They want to label them as a criminal organization. To label them as a criminal organization, you have to have people in that organization say this is a criminal organization. Now, usually in RICO trial, police and the feds, they're just going for the person at the top. This was created for the mafia, so they can go for the mafia boss instead of like the lower level folks. In this case, it was Young Thug. So they gathered up Gunna and a bunch of people from YSL and said, look, all you need to tell us is YSL, Young Thug's record label, is a criminal organization. All of y'all walk away. Now, if every single...
Hey, I'm not gonna cap. I would have took that deal. I would have took that fucking deal 5 times over. I would have said, this nigga guilty, that nigga guilty, that nigga guilty, that nigga right over there, he guilty as fuck. That nigga right over there, I saw him shoot somebody last week, my nigga. All these niggas are guilty. Let me go. Nigga, I would snitch like a motherfucker if I was him. I would be like, it was him, it was him, it was her, it was that nigga right there. Oh, that nigga trying to hide, but it was him too. Oh, that nigga behind me, that was him. Matter of fact, that nigga in the jury, it was him too. Shit, I'm snitching like a bitch in there, bro. I'm not going to prison.
YSL said this is not a criminal organization. Everyone walks away, but that's not realistic, right? So the lawyers are scrambling together and saying, boy, if you don't say it's a criminal organization, Gunna said, it's a criminal organization. Gunna and multiple people in YSL said it is a criminal organization, so Young Thug's case was kicked off. So Young Thug in jail after this happens.
Okay, I see where you're coming from though, because if none of them niggas said that shit, he would have been good. He would have been good. Everything would have been okay. He wouldn't have had all this happen, you feel me? But at the same time, my nigga, hey, my nigga, it is what it is. It is what it is. I would have snitched, so I can't blame him. I can't blame him for being mad, but I also can't blame them for snitching. Gunna kind of a bitch for that though, cause that's your homie, but like, it is what it is.
Savage, and he's saying he cannot believe Gunna did that. He's very upset. 21 Savage telling him, well, I don't think Gunna did it to hurt you. It just made sense for Gunna to do that. Young Thug says he doesn't care. It broke his heart. 21 Savage brings up a very good point. He says, well, didn't you tell your brother to do the same thing as Gunna?
That's fucking fucked up. That's fucked up. How you gonna be mad at Gunna for snitching, but you told your brother to snitch too? That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, never mind. I take it back. I don't understand you, Young Thug. You're kind of a hoe for that. I ain't gonna cap. You're kind of a bitch for that. I ain't gonna cap. Also, why does nigga 21 Savage look like that, bro? I'm sorry, but why does nigga look so goddamn bummy, bro? Yo, look, I'm sorry. I love, like, 21. I fuck with you. Why you look like that? Why you look like that, man? Alright, let me stop.
Tells a criminal organization so he can get 0 years. Young Thug denies this, but Young Thug actually did tell his brother to do that. So it seems that Young Thug saw the reasoning as to why somebody would say it's a criminal organization, but he just felt hurt hearing Gunna say it. He expected more loyalty from Gunna.
That's kind of
now, I say this because remember in the beginning of this video, we said Young Thug basically has 2 problems. His jail calls were leaked, and then earlier recording of him talking to police were leaked. Well, people are basically saying, look, you're upset at Gunna for talking to police. Everybody was calling him a snitch. Young Thug, you calling him a snitch. But you was talking to police too. What's going on?
Oh, so Young Thug is a snitch too? Oh, this is some messy ass drama, bro. Goddamn. Nigga mad cause Gunna's a snitch, but he a snitch too? And his brother's a snitch? Oh, this is crazy. Nah, Young Thug, you're a hoe for that. First it was like, okay, your brother snitched, but I can see why you still mad Gunna snitched. But my nigga, you snitched. Fucking insane. Diabolical. Crazy. Look, I don't know, man. Young Thug, That's kind of crazy, bro. It's kind of crazy. But let's hear the situation out.
Let's figure out what's going on together, because here's where things start to get wicked. Now, first things first, Young Thug's conversation with police is way before this Rico situation. This conversation is taking place because Lil Wayne's tour bus had just recently been shot up by a man named Pee Wee Roscoe. Basically, police were trying to connect some dots, okay? So they bring in Young Thug and they tell him, Young Thug, Tugga, as some may refer you as, you don't need to talk to us. They stress to Tugga that he does not need to speak to them. They stress this because they don't want all this information they have to be locked down later by a lawyer saying Young Thug didn't have his lawyer present, all that. So they tell him, you don't have to speak to us. Young Thug says, they say, you really don't have to speak to us. They say it like 5 times, I'm telling you. Young Thug says, no, I
Oh my fucking god, if I get another fucking ad, I'm actually gonna fucking rip my fucking skull out of my fucking... Oh, I can skip it. Okay. It's good. I can skip it. Okay.
No, I want to. And this is when people say, oh, there you go, Young Thug. You could have just got your lawyer. You could have just walked out, which Young Thug absolutely should have done. Because side note, police brought him in because his name, Young Thug's name, was connected to Pee Wee Roscoe, Lil Wayne, to the whole shooting situation. They already booked Pee Wee Roscoe. They already had evidence against Pee Wee Roscoe. They just wanted to see if they can get Young Thug too. The police kicked things off by being real cool, you know? Officer goes, man, I listen to your music. Thug goes, really? He says, yeah, man, you want some food? You hungry?
No,
Thug goes,
that's crazy,
yeah,
bro.
I can use some food.
Hey, bro, that shouldn't be legal for real. They should not be able to do that, bro. That's fucked up.
Get my boy some food. That's Thugger. Nah, but seriously though, you know Pee Wee Roscoe? Thug goes, I mean, they said, write that down. Thug said, Officer said, oh, don't worry about that. That's just a formality. And therein lies the issue. You see, the problem with Young Thug speaking to police and people speaking to police without lawyers present is because you don't know what the police are looking for. At this point, the police seem to be looking for a general framework as to what they wanted to work with of the goings on in Atlanta, in a sense, to build a sort of a file. It's hard to know why police are asking certain questions. For example, at one point, Young Thug seems to be trying to help Pee Wee Roscoe. He says, I thought Pee Wee Roscoe and Lil Wayne were close friends, and then I hear
that's solid.
They are saying Pee Wee Roscoe had shot up Lil Wayne's tour bus.
Okay, that's valid. That's valid. That's valid. That's not snitching. That's not snitching.
Fast forward to today's time, to recent times, Pee Wee Roscoe comes out with a video saying, in his opinion, Young Thug was trying to help him by throwing the police off by saying Pee Wee Roscoe, Lil Wayne friends.
That's not
everybody's
bad.
cool.
That's good. That's good.
Let's go back to the tape. Again, the problem is Young Thug and Pee Wee Roscoe, they're not playing the game that police and lawyers are playing. Police are taking that information and saying, okay, Lil Wayne friends with Pee Wee Roscoe. I don't believe that. Let's throw that away. The police say, okay, so Young Thug, you don't really know Pee Wee Roscoe like that. Young Thug says, that's what I said. I don't. They say, okay. But Pee Wee Roscoe says that you paid him to shoot up Lil Wayne's tour bus.
Oh.
Young Thug says, man, Pee Wee Roscoe ain't said that. They said, oh, I thought you ain't know. Young Thug said, they said, write that down.
They on his ass. They on his ass.
How can you speak to somebody that you don't know? What's going on? Write that down. Young Thug.
Nah, they got his ass. I ain't gonna cap. There's some smart ass police, bruh. There's some smart ass cops.
I ain't say that, like, I'm just saying he wouldn't say that. I just know he wouldn't say that. They said, cool. And that's the information police are looking for. That's why you need a lawyer.
They got his ass, bruh. Hey, they got his ass. God damn, they outsmarted the fuck out of Young Thug. Which, I mean, it's probably not that hard to outsmart a nigga named fucking Young Thug, bro. Like, the nigga's name is Young Thug, bro. Of course he's easy to outsmart.
They say, hey, aren't you a part of a gang? Don't you say that in your songs? They know he's gonna say no. He says no. They say, all right, cool. We just thought we'd ask. Birdman, is he part of a gang? Young Thug says no. They said, cool. We just thought we'd ask. Now, all this to say, this is the game that Young Thug and police are playing during this call. At the end of the call, Young Thug says, hey, if y'all want to know any more information, just hit me up. But don't tell people that I spoke to you. And that is very important because it lends credence to the Young Thug snitching allegations. Because whole time he could say, didn't y'all listen to the call? I was trying to throw the police off. I wasn't telling them the truth, which he wasn't. But him telling them, if you need more information,
yeah, that's kind of crazy. If you need more information, call me is wild. Yeah, that's straight up snitching, bro. That is straight up snitching. That is Mickey Mouse activity. That is Jerry from Tom and Jerry activity. That is straight rat activity, my nigga. You are a snitch. Snitch.
Now you can say another theory. Now you can say Young Thug is thinking, maybe I'll cooperate in the future. Maybe Young Thug having a conversation with police without his lawyer in the first place is to show how quote unquote cooperative he can be. Maybe he's worried about his name being connected to this whole shooting. So he's saying,
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
If you get more info, just hit me up first and I'll clear it up for you, which is basically the job of an informant. But I stress that these are just theories. I have no clue as to what is actually, what was actually
the job of an informant. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of an informant. That's basically a snitch. I ain't gonna cap. That's basically a snitch.
On through Young Thug's head. And he also knows it's absolutely not a good look to be talking to police in the first place. So again, he tells them, look, this conversation stays between us, right? They say, Young Thug, you think we walk around telling people after we broke bread with you, we sat here, we ate with you, we listened to your music, we like this. Fingers crossed. Thug said, okay, we tight. Y'all not gonna tell the world. They said, fingers crossed, we not gonna tell the world. And well, this videotape recently was released. So
lying ass police, knowing damn well they gonna leak the fuck out of that shit. The whole damn world knows, bro. Lying ass police, man.
Really dig deep into this situation. Listen to this next part closely. Remember, Young Thug has two problems. His jail calls were released and recordings of him speaking to police were released. During the jail calls, he explains why he was upset at Gunna and why he believes Gunna was a snitch. 21 Savage questions that. 21 Savage tells him he does not believe Gunna did the right thing, but he does not think things were personal. Young Thug says, no, Gunna is a snitch. Turns out Young Thug's brother took the same deal as Gunna. In fact, Young Thug encouraged his brother to take that deal, but Young Thug says his brother is not a snitch. A recording of Young Thug is also released where he's speaking to police saying, hey, hit me up later if y'all want some more info, all that. But he says, I am not a snitch. Gunna is the only snitch in this situation. So it really begs the question.
Hypocritical ignorance. Hypocritical ignorance. That's all I got to say.
What is a snitch? And the answer is, I don't know. Some people think it's when you talk to police. Some people think if you're a civilian, you can talk to police, you're not a snitch. I don't know. I personally believe this situation is less complicated than that. I think people tend to create their own reality when it suits them. Gunna is a snitch because he hurt me. That's what I think Young Thug is really trying to say. In fact, he says to 21 Savage, Gunna broke my heart. His brother can't be a snitch because he didn't want his brother to go to jail. Young Thug can't be a snitch because in his mind, allegedly, maybe, I'm speculating, that he's trying to trick the police and throw them off. He's shaping his own reality into what's a snitch and what's not a snitch.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
But
regardless, the overwhelming consensus online is Young Thug called Gunna a snitch. Meanwhile, the whole time he was speaking to police, Young Thug is a hypocrite.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, thoughts.
Build a website you love.
Bro. Alright, thoughts on the situation. Young Thug is a bitch, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Young Thug a hoe for that. And he's a snitch. Yeah, that's all I got to say, pretty much. Oh yeah, I would have took that same deal Gunna took. That's also my thoughts. I would have did that shit. But yeah, that's all I got to say. So like, subscribe, share the video, subscribe to my vlog channel, follow my TikTok, follow my Twitch. I'm gonna start streaming soon, hopefully. I don't know. We'll see how shit go, for real. I might not, for real. Check out my Amazon storefront. Bye.
Racking, all hundreds I'm packing. My life it is like a movie minus all the acting. Jacket, yeah, it's made alright.